I'd like to share today a teaching about transformation. Many of us love elementals, and many people have pets, including dogs. And we appreciate these dogs as pets because they love us. They seem to be so adoring of human beings as friends and as masters. Now, we have heard that there are elementals who make the leap from living in the animal kingdom by earning a threefold flame to be able to embody in the human kingdom and evolve. You may have wondered how this process actually occurs. The precious elementals that embody through animals as our pets have conscious awareness to a degree. They have more of a group soul than what we have as an individual soul. And so they are influenced by the genetics of the family, the genetic family that they have been born into. And yet they do have feelings. Dogs have a certain aspect of sentient awareness. And when they are faithful and when they can actually be trained to support mankind, and in many cases there are dogs such as those that assist the handicapped or the blind, dogs that are trained to use their very advanced sense of smell to snuff out drugs at airports, dogs that are used to rescue people, dogs that are used by the police for various purposes, for security. All of these aspects of the advancement of the awareness through training and through obedience that dogs develop brings them to a level of awareness whereby, because of their constancy, because of their attention to detail, and their adoration of their owners or their handlers, they can build within themselves the workings of the spirit, so to speak, so that they can actually have that leap whereby they have a threefold flame and then can be reborn as an individual soul into the human kingdom. Now, there is a dog whisperer that some of you may have seen on television, and recently on a trip back from somewhere, I think it was maybe Mount Shasta or some other place, I saw a snippet of this gentleman's sharing of how to treat and work with and train dogs. He's a very conscious, sensitive man and soul, originally from Mexico, and he's become a U.S. citizen. And he is very thoughtful and very heart-centered, treating dogs as they desire to be treated, handling them as if they were conscious beings and not just some lower form of evolution. And we can take our cue from this gentleman because he has moved into a field of awareness where through his inner sensitivity he can communicate with these animals and the dogs, and he really has what it takes to assist them in this process of working toward their own evolution and their transition between the animal kingdom and the human kingdom. So, if you have never seen him, does anybody know his name? Caesar, yeah. A wonderful man, wonderful human being. And I even saw a snippet of an interview that Eckhart Tolle was doing with him, and Eckhart shared his appreciation of Caesar and his abilities to communicate with and to really work properly with dogs. So, this same dynamic that we see where animals, pets, dogs, and even cats and other animals that are very conscious can make the transition between their domain, their kingdom, and the human and move on in their evolutionary cycles exists for us as we evolve into what we could term angelic beings. Now, many of us are embodied angels, and so we have chosen to incarnate to assist mankind, and yet we have to do what it takes in order to master the lessons of life, in order to evolve higher into our true spirituality as solar beings. So, if you contemplate what animals do, and especially dogs, in being obedient to their master, in desiring to serve and desiring through cherishment and love to be of the highest service, this is the same type of feeling and energy that we can have towards the Godhead, toward the ascended masters, toward the angelic hierarchies, so that we can develop our hearts, our souls, our beings, to also make that leap and be able to make our ascension. In a sense, when dogs receive a threefold flame, they really, in a sense, make their ascension toward the next level. And likewise for us, when we earn a higher investment of our threefold flame in the world of permanence, in the immortal spheres, we, in a sense, then ascend. And yet it's just a new beginning, even though it is an ascension. So this ascension process is happening throughout life. And we've heard that Archangel Michael was an elemental who guarded a blade of grass. He did it so well. He moved on in the evolutionary cycles through the elemental kingdom, then through humanity, and then because he did that, he ended up becoming an archangel rather than just an angel. When we learn obedience, not as blind accommodation of some other's will, but as an involvement in the holy affairs of God, by truing ourselves, aligning ourselves with that holy will, and becoming involved in the processes in which God is involved in the affairs of mankind, I believe that we come into our true level of sanctity, whereby our entire life can be fruitful, filled with joy, reason for being, and blessedness. If you consider those human beings who care for their dogs, who take them out for exercise, who meet their needs, there is this master Chela, master disciple, or Chela relationship, guru Chela relationship, even there, because the parent or the human has to really care for, feed, and provide for the dog, just as the dog is ever at the beck and call of his master to serve him and to be with him, to adore him. So this same relationship exists for us with the Ascended Masters, where they support us, feed us in a sense, their light energies, their teachings. And so in this Guru Chela relationship, master-disciple, teacher-student relationship, there is the support always provided, that allows the master to move forward and us to move forward, because when the master has pupils that get it and do their work and graduate and pass their tests, they can then also move on, because in the training of students, there is also an evolution of beingness of the master. And the same is true with us when we have pets. When we mindfully take care of them, when we provide for them and, in a sense, communicate lovingly with them and discern with great sensitivity their needs and their attempts to communicate with us, we become more evolved, more sensitive, and we can really develop those inner senses of the soul that do us well. So, those of us who have pets, no matter what type of pets they are, see these creatures, these beings, as living entities of light who are of God, created by God and the Elohim, and who provide for us and afford us an opportunity to learn from them, to grow partly through their experience in our own awareness because of our tender regard for them and our caring for them, and see the same dynamic manifesting in our relationship with the higher beings of light, the angelic hierarchies, the ascended hosts, the Chohans, the Elohim, as we work on ourselves and evolve toward our true spiritual destiny of complete oneness with the Source. So that's what I'd like to share today, and I'd like to seal this session in the light with one final song, which I'd like to ask Boyd to pick.